Hi, I'm Lucky, and today I am back to you guys with another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you the best 5 fruits you could be using for hard dungeons. Well, both hard and normal. Alright, this is my second recording at this, so hopefully I don't get too carried away with going into all these specifics. Before we get into the video, this is all my opinion from my own personal use. If you guys have any suggestions that I should try out, let me know in the comments. Be respectful, respect my opinions, I respect yours. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's get into the video. Alright, so cool. So let's start with the 2 main things you guys must know about these brand new dungeons. Alright, this isn't like, especially hard dungeons, this isn't like a normal dungeon where you should just spam moves. No, you need to walk with stuns and DPS people. Alright, so support peoples will be people with like this is with swords, I should say. People with scepters of flame, and the R. This is the free-to-play option. Or if you don't have the scepters of flame, the what is that sword called again? I forgot. The dragon fangs. This is because the dragon fangs, the dragon fangs and the dawn breakers, my bad, they gather enemies really good, and that's like one of the main problems that take hard dungeons so long, gathering all the enemies. All right, so you can use either our swords, either dawnbreakers or the dragon fangs to gather up the enemies, or whatever the case to be, the NPCs, for the first 3 waves, and easy come, easy serve, and boom, you clear the first 3 waves. Simple, easy. All right, moving on to the hard boss now. This is where things kind of get hard, but before we get into that, let's go to the fruits. So one of the best fruits, in my opinion, that I'm going to stand on for gathering fruits is either Phoenix or not Control, or Do V2. I put Do V2 for gathering over Phoenix though, however, because Do V2 has 2 moves that I think gathers enemies for everybody for PvE sake. Whereas Phoenix, the C move for Phoenix is kind of quick. So like, if I had to go and equip Phoenix here real quick and just show you guys what I mean. If I had to do this, right, and I go around, I spawn in, you know, I fly up, and the enemies are here, and I just do this, right, and then I press E to gather every single thing that is around, or whatever the case would be. I still feel like, yes, that is good damage as well as good gathering, but I don't think it's going to work out that well for me from a team's perspective. If you want to solo it, or if you're doing it with other Phoenix users, then fine, Phoenix is the better fruit for gathering with. But in my opinion, I would always stand with Do. So let's start with why I think the Scepters of Flame is another really good option as well to use, apart from the other 2 swords that do gather. This doesn't gather, but it is really good for the final boss, being this X move right here. It stuns. Now, the final boss in both normal and hard dungeons are known to spam their abilities quite often. But if you use that move, or if you use any move here, which is another good stun fruit here, the Do. If you use the B move, which lasts for a very long time, or the C move, or even the B move, which is like the spiral thingamajiggy, it stuns the enemy so he can't can't spam the ability. So yeah, pretty easy. But anyways, with that out of the way, I think that's everything I had to say as it relates to the swords. Let's get into the fruits. So in no particular order, let's just start with Do. Alright, Do V2 in my eyes is the perfectly balanced fruit in my eyes. Alright, like I said already, it does decent damage, and the stuns are everything. The stuns are actually everything. And this V move gathers the NPCs so well. For the first 3 waves, it gathers them so easy. I recommend using Do for sure. And then, not even to mention, even if you miss some, you could press B, and the range on this really does capture all them in, bro. And you press X and you press C just to stun them all on the ground, and bada bing, bada boom. And even with that just alone being the case that it gathers, it stuns as well, so it's really good for the final boss. However, though, the damage is kind of on the mid-ish side, so if you do use it and you don't use like CDK with it or a high on DPS sword, I would recommend wearing a fruit accessory though. However, just for the time being, because again, though doesn't really have that good damage, but it is very good as it relates to stunning the enemies. Anyways, moving on to the next fruit on my list. Let's go to Phoenix. All right, again, in no particular order, Phoenix kind of speaks for itself. High DPS, really good movement, really good burn damage, really good fruit overall, M1s and all. Really good gathering fruit as well as it relates to gathering the enemies. Like I said in previous talking. Yeah, really good, really good fruit. I would recommend getting it V2 if you guys don't have it already. Really good fruit, high DPS, low cooldowns, really good fruit. So boom, though I'm gonna go down the list here real quick. Quake isn't a bad fruit to run on this. However, the stuns is kind of glitchy. It's kind of glitchy just a little bit on the bosses. I would prefer to use Duel because it does stun better as it relates to the enemy not being able to do its moves. But Quake isn't a bad option as well. You guys could also use Quake. But I do have Duel above Quake just for the sake that it multi-hit stuns, as opposed to just doing one singular stun and I have to spam my moves, not to mention the cooldowns. Yeah, the cooldowns take really long as well. So yeah, I still probably have Duel above that, to be honest with you. Going down the list here, again, we have ourselves I think this is the third highest DPS that I have on my list. I think that Phoenix out damages Phoenix out damages this, and the other fruit that's going to be after this out damages this as well. But if you run Magma with Dawnbreakers or even Dragon Fins, really good. Mwah, chef kisses is so good to use, bro. Can't lie. The Dawnbreaker gathers the enemies. You can press C. On Awaken C, by the way. It must be on Awaken C. The move. And it's just really good damage overall. Do this. Just match my stats, or whatever the case to be. I maxed out everything in Sword and Fruit. HP could kick rocks. Because it's also very important to note that I am using fully upgraded crab armor. If you don't have fully upgraded crab armor, you can always just run anything that kind of gives you like damage reduction. So Inferno Claw is kind of good as well. But yeah, moving on to I think the last fruit that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put an honorable mention in here, because I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna put an honorable mention in here. But obviously, at the top of my list, I'm always gonna have Control. Well, sorry, let me not say the top of my list. It is a really good combo though. However, Control V2 and Law Blade V2, bro. Look at that range. Oh, such a good fruit. I don't even need to explain why this is like. I don't think I need to explain why this is like so high on my list, bro. Like, I don't think I need to explain anything, to be honest with you. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Really good combo. Use it. And honorable mention. I just struggled to say honorable effort. Honorable mentions would be Gravity. Gravity with Dawnbreakers, I guess, still isn't bad though, but Gravity is slowly falling off in meta. But it still is good though. You could use it. And also Buddha V2. I think Buddha is very good for the final bosses as well, because for one, some of his moves kind of glitch and they don't hit you. They do hit you sometimes, but not all the time. They don't hit you. Alright, and I think if you're running Buddha with the Buddha V2 with the entire regen thing and then also CB's V2, I think you're pretty much set for greatness. You're pretty much set, destined for greatness, to be honest. Really good combo. Use it. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. I didn't want this video to be so long, but let me know what other suggestions, what other fruit combos you guys use inside of dungeons. Please keep in mind, again, stuns, and whenever you're like picking out your combo, stuns and weapons are fruits that gather enemies, or even fighting styles. I haven't personally looked into fighting styles, but I'll probably do that in the next video. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the end. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.